in terms of coaching, Dale, specifically professional sports. When you're in little league, you don't know much. I mean, you know a little, but your coach is there to train you, move you up. You get to your teenage years, and every teenager knows everything I know, but you realize that there are still people better than you. But then you get to the major leagues, and now you're a Golden Glove winner. Now you're an MVP. If we took coaching away and we just let these professionals who are amazing at what they do, just, I'm not going to say run amok, because I think they're more professional than that. But if we took away coaching at that level, how would things change? And the reason I'm asking is, I think there's a lot of people in business, whatever that type of business may be, that think, well, I don't need coaching. I've been doing this for 30 years.
Sure.
Right? I think, Steve down the hall here, he's new. He's a rookie to the company.
Yeah.
And so he could use coaching. But I've been in sales for 40 years, or I've been in biotech for the last 30 years. I don't need a coach. And so that's kind of where I'm getting at with this question is, why is it important that even at that level, at the highest level of productivity, that you still have a coach?
That's a great question. First thing that came to my mind is you never stop learning, because you think from your experience that you have seen it all, that you know it all, and that you're doing everything you can do. It's just not the case, because we're human. We forget things. We go into slumps. We need a coach there to remind us of that. I think your question of what would happen if in Major League Baseball, for instance, if they got rid of their coaches, what would be the result? It would be shorter careers, not as good performance. You'd still see a certain level of good performance because they're professionals, but you wouldn't see players reaching their potential. And clubs recognize this, because there are more coaches now on teams than there were when I played.
Yes.
So now they're not decreasing the coaches, and believe me, in the business world, if you can cut a salary and cut a job from somewhere and add it to the bottom line of your corporation, they would do that. Well, are they doing that with coaches? No. They're still trying to find the best, and they're increasing the coaching staff, because they know even in today's game, things are different.
Yep.
There are more what I would call specifically mindset coaches in baseball. Whereas I played in a time where it was a kind of a combination. My coaches were hitting coaches and sometimes psychologists. Now they actually have psychologists helping these players. So the coaching staff is increasing. I think that is the answer to your question, is that is an invaluable part of the investment of the baseball team, is the best coaches you can get for your team. Otherwise, you just don't see players reach their potential or their longevity.
I agree 1,000%, if that's even possible. People generally don't see it, though. That's the problem.
Exactly.
There is a very large nonprofit organization that you are familiar with, who sends out tens of thousands of participants every year to different countries around the world. And these individuals need to learn the local language in order to communicate with the people that they are out serving. And what they've found is that in the first 6 months, right? So these people generally go out for about 2 years. And in the first 6 months, their language proficiency skyrocketed on a trajectory like this, right? Because every day they were learning. It was new to them. They were trying to communicate. And what they found, though, is that at the 2-year mark, that their language proficiency was less than it was at the 6-month mark. And these people what happens is they get comfortable. And the same thing happens with any new job.
Absolutely.
Or any job that you have, period. I mean, when it's new, you're a voracious reader, or, you're trying to learn everything you can about the company, its culture, its history. How am I going to succeed in this position? And then you get to a point where you find this level of comfort where you're succeeding, and you're like, okay, I'm here. And you basically just try to hold the status quo for the rest of, your time. Yeah. But what happens is there's really no such thing as stagnancy when it comes to development. You're either progressing or you're digressing. And I agree with you 100% that these players would never reach their full potential. But I think that applies to all of us in
Yeah.
every aspect of our lives, is
Absolutely.
we get comfortable. And so if we don't have somebody that's holding us accountable, that's helping us point out what we could do better and setting goals with us and moving us towards those goals like a coach does, that we will never reach our potential.